Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to this special series of videos on natal planets conjunct the nodes and transiting planets conjunct the nodes. Originally, when I created these videos, they ended up being over an hour long where I went through the sky and talked about each of the planets. Now, what I've done is I've edited these videos down so that you can get right to the information that you want. Look at the exact planet that you want. I want to thank you so much for watching, and thank you especially for the suggestions that you guys give me on the videos that you want to see in the YouTube comments, on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and of course my website, nadiyashah.com. Please do keep those questions, suggestions, interactions, and positive energy coming. It really does mean so much to me. And if you like these videos, please share them. And of course, let me know online. Enjoy. Now I'm going to talk about the transiting planets. So transiting Jupiter conjunct the nodes is huge. It only happens a few times in a lifetime because Jupiter takes a full 12 years to go around the zodiac. Once Jupiter conjuncts the south node, 6 years later will conjunct the north node, and then 6 years later the south node, and so on and so on. We get one visit every 12 years of Jupiter, either to the south node or the north node. Every 6 years, a major turning point in any life when one of the nodes is met by Jupiter, transiting Jupiter. When Jupiter transits the south node, this is a closing of karmic chapters, ending karmic ties. It's understanding what has served its karmic purpose in your life on a very deep level, and it tends to represent a major turning point for a lot of people. And it is a turning point that is about embracing a more practical understanding of Jupiterian energy. And so when Jupiter is sort of manifesting in its lower vibration, it tends to denote overdoing it, essentially. In some area of life, we are going too far, we're overdoing it. And when Jupiter conjuncts the south node, that we are overdoing leaves. And so this tends to represent a major turning point for a lot of people in their lives. Jupiter is also belief. So this can be leaving behind a belief system or an understanding as well that is no longer going to serve the future that you believe you are meant to go towards. And so it's a major shift of understanding, and it's a major ending as well. So I've seen people, leave places they lived in for years. They leave cities that they've lived in. I've seen people with this taking place, quit drinking and all kinds of things. Major turning points take place, and there's a feeling of gratitude associated with it. There's an understanding on a karmic level, on a deep level, that this has served its karmic purpose for you, and it's okay to move on. Sometimes this really has to do with forgiveness as well. This has to do with understanding, wow, I've been holding on to that for a really long time, and that's not what I want to be about anymore. And so that shift takes place. Depending on what house Jupiter rules, also matters related to that house are going to go through a major turning point as well, signified by some sort of ending that we are grateful for. Jupiter conjunct the north node is always a standout time. Sometimes we don't appreciate it fully in the moment. It might take 3 to 6 years for the Jupiter square or Jupiter opposition to the north node. So Jupiter opposition to the north node is conjuncting the south node. But we may actually need that to appreciate and say, oh, wow, okay, all of that was happening at that time, and I didn't even realize it. That really was an important moment or important time in my life. And it tends to be a time when we meet people who will figure prominently in our opportunity, in our success for a very long time to come. It tends to represent a time when we understand what direction we need to go in to create greater blessings for ourselves. And this can be new people coming in, absolutely. New people that sometimes have to do with higher education. It can be people who are in some way foreign to us, different than us, people who represent different belief systems, religions. And it could even be a new religion or a new belief system, a new worldview that presents itself to us at that time that we embrace. I personally have seen again and again that Jupiter, even though Jupiter is not normally thought about as romantic energy, I have found when Jupiter conjuncts the North Node, very textbook, it does tend to bring with it romance as well. And so I would encourage you to observe your life and see what happens there, but it is a really important moment. That doorway is opening from which new people, that North Node acts as a doorway from which new people, new opportunities, new understandings are going to enter. And there really is an understanding. Life makes it very clear. This is where you need to go to really tap into that Jupiterian energy to create greater positivity, greater prosperity, and to really move towards a life that's more inspired, more optimistic. And all kinds of changes are possible. But this is really when we attract mentors. We're made clear. We start businesses, romantic partners, all of that. It really is a very special time. But again, it might not be very obvious in the moment. And I always encourage people, get out and about. Be active, meet lots of people, talk to lots of people. You want to look at what house that North Node is in so that you're tapping into that energy as well. So if it's the third house, for example, that's about, neighbors and neighborhoods and just being busy, like sort of the busyness as you go about your day. And I would say go out, like walk your neighborhood a lot more, because that's where you're going to randomly interact with people that end up having a positive influence on your future. For example, if that North Node is in the 8th house, of course, that's money, okay? But I would say go to banks. Like I would say just interact with people who deal with finances, financial institutions, insurance companies, all that kind of thing. Think about getting insurance. Think about what that could mean to you. Think about applying for jobs at insurance companies, all of that. So you want to look at what that house covers and what it represents and what that in turn could mean for your life path as well. But Jupiter conjunct the nodes, always an important time, always a time that you want to tap into actively, because that really is a part of aligning you with that higher vision of your life.